All right, John Carpenter's first real film. I mean, come on, let's be serious. Dark Star was more of a student film, as I had said. So, uh, this is a shitty DVD copy, and I'm very embarrassed to hold this up. I do want to get the Scream Factory release, and after watching this again, I have absolutely gotta get it. This is such a great movie. It's been so long since I've seen it. It was basically like watching it for the first time. I remember it decently. Like I remembered what it was about, and I remember key scenes, but it felt like I hadn't seen it in a long time, which I haven't. So this is a really great rewatch. I know that this is one of Quentin Tarantino's very favorite films, and it shows absolutely. It influenced something like Reservoir Dogs, From Dusk Till Dawn, where they're trapped in one location, people are outside, they're trying to keep themselves safe inside, conflicts ensue, people don't know who to trust, all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely laced within his films. This is basically like a modern day Western. I know that he was given a budget and carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wanted, and he wanted to make a Western, and he knew he couldn't afford a period piece because of the costumes and the attention to, everything being from that time period. Time period pieces are always expensive, so he knew he didn't have that, so he just made it, and he set it in modern day, and he made it a shootout. They say that it's basically like a remake of Rio Bravo, which I've never seen, honestly, so I can't tell you how close it isn't. I looked up the plot line and whatnot, and it does look fairly similar. But I have no doubt that this one is much more brutal and much more violent. Holy shit. Let's talk about the first thing that everyone would like to talk about here, because this is the most infamous scene from this. The little girl getting cut down at the ice cream truck. Holy shit. Spoilers, obviously. Come on. Movie's fucking 100 years old. I know that I read that they knew that that scene was going to get them an NC-17 rating, so they cut it out of the movie, sent it to the MPAA, got the R rating, spliced it back into the movie, and then sent it to the theaters with the fucking shit in there, saying it was an R-rated movie. How the hell they got away with that? I mean, it's, 1976, so I guess you can do whatever the hell you want back then. But the stunt they pulled it off. That's just insane to me that they were able to pull something like that off. It would never in a million years work now. So many things you couldn't do now that you could do then, and I just thought that was an incredible story. So yeah, assault on Precinct 13, or is it 9, or is it Division 13, or wait, is it Division 14? There's so many mess ups in this movie when it comes to that. Obviously, the title does not fit. This takes place at Division. They say it is, Precinct 9 over the comms, District 13. And when they get there, the building they walk into says District 14 on it. So nothing is right here. This movie does not take place at Precinct 13. And it does not even take place in the division in which they say. So I just thought that was hilarious to me. It's like, you can't get anything right? Like, even in film? Like, okay, they changed the title on you because they wanted it to sound more ominous, because John Carpenter had some other title, and then they threw Assault on Precinct 13 in. But the fact that in the film they say Division 13... and the building clearly says 14. It's like, how the fuck did you mess that one up too? So there's like double in this one. Yeah. Does it matter to the film at all? No, who gives a shit? But it's odd. It's very odd. But it is not the first title that doesn't happen in the movie or anything. You got no trolls in Troll 2. You've got freaking, No Book of Shadows in Blair Witch 2. So there's tons of titles that don't apply to the film. I just thought this was a very odd one. This movie is just vicious. I mean, really. Is it overly violent, like, as far as, like, graphic on-screen gore and whatnot? No. But there's like a 50-plus body count. I think I read it was like 56, and man, it feels like it. fucking guys are getting blasted every 10 seconds once the action starts. It's just boom, boom. Guys are getting blown out the window. Guys, it's insanity. And as I said, just this little girl getting cut down because she got the wrong ice cream flavor. That guy would have got her ice cream flavor right. Now, he was distracted. He had something on his mind. He thought he was going to get killed, and he ended up getting killed. But if he would have given her the right ice cream, she may not have died. And then that guy wouldn't have came for vengeance. He wouldn't have killed their leader, I'm guessing, or one of their mates, and they wanted to chase him down. And then he wouldn't have brought them back to this precinct. So I did find it interesting that the guy gets his vengeance, then runs over to a precinct, brings this whole army with him after him, and just sits in the corner, does not say a single word. Like, once his daughter's dead, he doesn't say a word from there at all for the rest of the entire film. He just sits in the corner. He's completely silent. They don't even know what the hell happened. They even say that in the movie. It's like, this guy could have done anything. Who knows what he did? And that's kind of why I like, Nancy Loomis's character in this movie, because she's just like, give him to them. We don't know what the hell this guy has done. This guy could have done anything. And that's a real thing that people would say. I mean, in that situation, it's like, we don't got nothing to do with this. Take the guy. I don't give a shit. And I always like when directors have reoccurring cast members within their film. It just makes me feel like they have a good working relationship. I don't know. There's something about it. I always like it. Maybe not when it's done so much like Johnny Depp and Tim Burton, where you're just like, okay, can you guys do a film separately? Is that possible? But seeing Sheriff Brackett and Annie Brackett here, got both the Bracketts here in this movie, is always cool. And we'll get into my crush on Annie Brackett in my Halloween review. And just for warning, I will be skipping Halloween for the John Carpenter thing. I will be doing Halloween for my Halloween series review that I will be doing shortly after this, because I've already done Halloween 6 and so on and so forth. And yeah, I mean, I totally understand where Nancy Loomis's character is coming from in this. Not only does she want to give him away, but she's so just shocked at everything that's happening because she got a job at a precinct. Like, it's the safest fucking place on earth to work, right? Like, who the hell is going to come and shoot up a precinct? Granted, they're moving, but you still don't come and shoot up a police precinct. Nobody would have the fucking balls to do that. But the Night of the Living Dead gang in this film seems to be, careless and has no worry in the world. Yeah, this movie is very, very much heavily influenced by Night of the Living Dead, no doubt about it. This gang almost never says a single word in this film. They're relentless. They're constantly smashing through the windows. They're constantly driving them. They drive them down into the basement. I don't know what Carpenter says about that, but 100%. This was heavily inspired by that, which is not a bad thing. The only character I really had a problem with in this movie was Lee, the main chick. I don't know, man. She is so emotionless. I read that she didn't like her performance and that Carpenter was like, no, you were great. I have to kind of agree with her here. Do I think she's awful? No, I don't think she's awful. She doesn't hurt the movie for me. But and who knows? I mean, maybe that's what a person would do. They would just clam up and become completely just stone cold, no emotions of any sort. But that being said, let's say she's not afraid, or she's so scared, or she's just unable to show some emotion or whatever. She's supposed to be having this love interest with the convict in this movie, the main convict, which is a great character. I think he's one of the best. Him and the main sheriff, deputy, whatever the guy is, captain, I don't know. I doubt he's a captain. But she's supposed to be having this love interest with this guy, and I'm just, besides like her little gaze and whatnot, I'm just not feeling it on her side. Like, I'm feeling it fully on his side. Like, he's into her. I can feel that. And I know that she's supposed to be giving that back to him. Like, I understand that's what I'm supposed to be seeing as the viewer, but I'm not feeling it much at all. There are moments for a second here, especially like towards the very, very end, where she's given him these long, lingering looks of like, oh, should we kiss? And there's that moment where it's like, are they going to? And I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that this film went the route of more of a grim, dark tone where nothing really happy happens, where, you know, there is no love interest like getting each other and giving a kiss and letting the convict go free, Point Break style, or Fast and the Furious, which is the same movie. But you know, I didn't feel anything coming from her. But anyway, moving on. I really like that the gang clears out the streets, you know, goes in, brings the cars in, blows everyone away, and then immediately goes and grabs all the bodies, pulls all the cars, puts them back, puts everything back in place. Why they would leave a fucking guy who was working on the power line or the phone lines hanging from there instead of just going up and getting him. I guess maybe they couldn't get up there. They don't have the equipment. I guess that would answer it, but that's how they end up getting caught. But I like that attention to where, like, we're just gonna, and the cops just driving around and not even knowing where the hell it's coming from, because this is before the times now. I mean, this movie wouldn't work now, really. It's just, it works in the time it was shot. And I like that they just can't seem to localize where the hell this shit's happening. Like, they're getting calls all over the place, and they're like, what? We're looking and we don't see anything. So I like that a lot. And you know, the whole end with them holding up the sign, that's absurd. It doesn't matter, but it is. It's just, they're somehow holding this sign up and bringing it back with them as these 20 guys are pushing on it. For one, those guys would just push them right over. Just weight. Not even strength. That wouldn't have anything to do with it. By that point, there'd be enough weight on the thing to push it right over. There's nothing those guys could do. But they are using shit to beat their hands off and try to shoot at them and whatever. So neither one of them are holding the thing almost at all, and these guys are pressed up against it, and the thing is not falling over. It's not attached to the wall. It's not attached to anything. It would have toppled right over on them. So when I was watching, I just kept looking at their hands, and I kept looking, and I was like, what is holding this thing up supposedly right now as it's backing away with them, and 10 guys are pushing against it? It is so stupid. Oh, God, but who cares? It's just a movie. And then they got the smoke coming in, which they set the place on fire. Like, they Molotov cocktailed the whole building, and they know they're either inside the first floor and they're going to have to start scurrying out, or they're in the basement and they're going to die of smoke inhalation. But these guys are psychopaths. They want to kill them themselves. But I was just sitting there like, once they've torched the building, all you got to do is wait and they'll die. But I guess by that point, they would have figured they'd see the flames, they'd send in the fire department, they'd probably get away, so they had to go in. But why set the building on fire if you're going in? Why not just go down there and get them? Like, the fire just didn't make any sense to me. Anyways, I'm overthinking things as usual, but that's the whole point of this. So the next film I will be reviewing is Someone's Watching Me. I will get that tomorrow. As I said, I will not be doing Halloween during this run. I will do it for my Halloween series, which I will probably do maybe right when this is over. But I got a lot of films to go through. Carpenter did a lot of stuff. Man, I'm excited to talk about some of them. And man, I am not excited to review and rewatch some of him, because I do not like talking shit about Carpenter. But unfortunately, he made movies like The Ward and Ghost of Mars and that pro-life episode. Oh, fuck me. All right, guys.